Yeah, I tried to make the point to the players. It's a fresh start. It's the old cliche, isn't it? But it really was, because I saw some slight different things in players that weren't really getting any game time, which I think is going to be a benefit to us. Look, I'll be honest with players. I'll be there with them all the way. I think the most important thing is they get honesty from you and they know exactly where they stand. So when it comes to telling them they need to improve, they've got to do X, Y and Z, they'll take that information in and hopefully that'll transport onto the pitch. Is that the one area where you have to take yourself away from being one of the lads, because you've been a player, you've been here a long time, you've seen them all come into the building, but you've got to make the decisions this time, you and Alex? Yeah, I think I've been in that situation for quite a while though, the job I was doing beforehand. There is boundaries, you do have tough decisions to make. I respect everybody at the club, hopefully you get some of that back. So that goes a long way for me, having that trust between two people, group of people, or whatever it may be, knowing that we're all after the same thing. You just mentioned the word you have to make some tough decisions. Obviously the retain list came out last week and we got it all finalised, and obviously players have left. One player that's very close to this football club's captain him twice is Murph. I suppose that was a real tough decision on him. Yeah, it was, and people obviously know our circumstances away from the football club. Yeah, really tough. I had a good chat with Luke on the Sunday afterwards. I must say he was brilliant. He was really good. So he understands the reasons, and he was very professional. He's been unbelievable for this football club, both on and off the pitch. You won't come across a nicer fella. I just hope he goes on to get another club now and plays for a few more years, which I know he wants to do. It's a wheel and dealing time, of course, and it's one of those times that you've got to just bide your time as well to see what comes your way. You've assessed that squad. Obviously some people are under contract. Is it another area where you'll be trying to manoeuvre one or two, if you can, to give you bigger openings to bring in? Well, first of all, we know what we want, what targets in terms of areas we're after. That'll be our main objective. But overall, we want to improve the squad, so there might be some movement within the squad, both in and out, over the summer. It's that time of year where agents become very, very busy, don't they? You've been in the game long enough. This is a football club that doesn't deal with agents, very rare. In fact, probably been bottom of the table and spending money on agents for many, many years, which is a great policy they've had. Are you seeing that you might have to make a slight change to go with it a little bit, to get a better player? I think agents know where we're at in terms of what we can offer them. I think it's important that you build some relationships with agents and you're both honest with each other. So we can try and come up with the best solutions to get the type of players we want into the building. So it's about forging better relationships with them. I think they know where we're at in terms of what we can offer them. So constantly on the phone, speaking to people, and hopefully, one or two will send players our way. It's a new area for you. You've been in the building in terms of when recruitment goes on. Is it what you expected? Are you seeing now right at the forefront of what it's like to try and recruit players? Yeah, I think I knew what was coming. A lot of disappointment, Graham, if I'm honest. I knew what was coming. It's very early on. Technically the season's not even finished really yet, has it? So there's going to be a lot of players available over the next week or so to add to the list. So no, there's nothing really that I didn't expect. A lot of talking, a lot of people not getting back to you, a lot of players getting thrown our way. But no, nothing that I didn't really expect. When you're trying to get those potential possible signings, what are you actually looking for? What's got to be the mode of the player that you want to sign? Well, it's got to improve us. That's it's quite obvious, isn't it? It's got to improve us. Like I said, we're not just after improving 11 players. We're after improving the whole squad. Mentality's got to be key. We want a different type of mentality at the football club. In terms of how we train and how the games are executed. So we're after, the same with everybody. You're after good, honest pros who are going to train well, are going to be good influence in and around the football club. Obviously, we carry a lot of young players, but that's not going to be just their job to make sure they look after young players. We need players that are going to perform themselves, because ultimately that'll get them picked. Not how good they are with all the young ones all the time. Ultimately, it's how they perform and what influence they can have on games, which will get them picked.
And when you've identified those potential signs that you'd like to bring into the building, are you sort of working with the clubs that they played or contacts that they may know to just get that real character sort of building up of?
Yeah, that's what you have to do. A lot of phone calls. Some of these players, fortunate enough to know some people who might have played with him, so you ring up and you get a character reference that way. So yeah, it's just about building up some data in and around the individuals that we're after.
You wrote in the data analysis, and you've got Chamberlain as well, part of the recruitment team. Does that data analyst help you to identify players easier, or what you're really pinning them down?
Yeah, definitely. So if you're really after one aspect of a player, that really highlights if what you're seeing backs up with the data. Some of it I've been really surprised. That's gone the other way I thought it was going to go in terms of negative towards a player, and then also how these players come in can complement some of our players in terms of what they do and what ours do that are at the football club. So it's a real eye-opener in terms of the information and the gathering of what the player can provide and what he's already produced at other football clubs. It's a real eye-opener in terms of that type of thing. But no, it can only be positive. It can only help us. We'll get all that data all together, and then we'll have good watches of the players. I know a lot of the staff here already know a lot of the players, but we'll sit down together and watch them, good and bad. You need to know what they're not very good at, so we don't just concentrate on what they're good at. So in the end, we'll watch them and we'll come to a decision that way.
Of course, you work very closely with the group of youngsters that keep coming through over the last few years. And everybody knows that the next group is, hopefully, fingers crossed, going to be in a great position for the football club. Again, the retain list come out, it showed that so many had signed, but there was two who hadn't come from scholars with professional contracts yet, and Zach Williams and Connor Salisbury. Can you just bring us up to date and see, can the fans expect that to happen? Yeah,
we're hopeful, we're talking, it's not a million miles away. I think there's a willingness from everybody to get it resolved. Like I say, there's no real issue. We're talking. They've been training fine, playing brilliantly. Well, they've been at the football club. They're obviously having a rest now. But we're hopeful we can get both situations sorted out.
They're in that situation. I mean, young lads. This is the football club, really. I'm sure that you're telling us to be the right place for the next progress. Yeah, and
look, everyone said it a million times. You need about the football club, you'll get your progression, but it can't be true, Graham. They should stay, build up their career, learn their trade, and whatever they will get, they'll deserve to get in the end. I encourage everybody, play football matches. Play football matches. Don't go and play, don't get a move from me and go play under 23 football. Play football matches, and what you deserve in the end, you will get. I've always said to people, you got to be playing football. Even older players, you just need to be playing football.
On your pre-season friendlies, obviously you'll finalise it, but you've got a couple of non-league teams. Again, is that the way that you're going to go? Non-league, build up, then into the big clubs at the end of it? Yeah, we'll build it up with a tough pre-season. I think, like Alex said, we'll be going away for a few days. So yeah, we'll just build up, and the teams will get tougher, the tests will get harder, so we can work on different parts of how we expect the players to perform, both with and without the football. So as it's getting harder, we'll be able to work more on the shape and what we expect of them out of the football, and then what we're going to do when we regain the ball, etc. And so we're looking forward to it. Well, Alex used the word brutal last week. This will be the first time under Lee Bell and Alex Morris that this group of players, the squad that you bring together, are going to be seeing what you're going to offer them.
Yeah.
What's your assessment of what they can expect?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. But my message to the players is embrace it and take it on and get everything you can out of yourself over pre-season. There's so much more to come from some of them players physically. So my message to the players is, I agree with what Alex has said. It's going to be tough, it's going to be hard, but we're all in it together. The challenge is, can they get every little bit of themselves out of them during pre-season? And if they do that, they'll be better footballers for it, because your concentration improves, etc. You're able to last games better decision making. So hopefully, the message will be taken on board by some of the players, and we get them to where we want them to be.